Hello, everyone. A listener is dealing with a dark entity, which is blocking her spiritual path in different ways. So I thought I'd bring in Archangel Michael to shed some light on what dark entities are and how we can deal with them. So I'll jump into the trance, and Archangel Michael will comment on the issue. My light extends to you and shields you from any harm or threat you may encounter. Blessings to you on this full moon Sunday of your time, the 5th of July, 2020. You have called upon me to shed light on the issue of dark or negative entities, demons, as you call them in this tradition, evil spirits that leech off your energy and your force. Understand this. There is in everything two forces at play. You can give them different names depending on the perspective. Light or dark, good and evil, fire and water, earth and wind, chaos and order, consciousness or unconsciousness, positivity or negativity. These are all concepts, and as such, they are to be of service to you. In the highest of realities, all is one. And you are gradually stepping into the realization that you are creators. That is to say, on this journey of yours, the highest manifestation of what you are, which is the Godhead or the infinite identity of everything with itself. From this aspect, you have created both the angels and the demons and all other entities and experiences, phenomena and encounters that fill up what you call life or existence. These dark entities, then, you can conceive of as unconscious beings, or rather beings that are born out of human unconsciousness, and that use human unconsciousness to go about its own business, or to achieve its own ends. But these entities were also created by you as obstacles to overcome. You can think of it as the track of the electrons through the microchip, this constant switching of polarities, zeros and ones, which makes it finally reach its end goal, and then lets it achieve its function of information translation. What is a dark entity? Some of them are like the angels, age-old, attached to orders from different worlds or vibrational spectra. You could think of them as, such as these hellish realms that feed of unconscious and negative energy. From the same perspective, you would then view us angels, I, Michael, and my brothers or sisters. You would view us as the carriers of light, consciousness, divinity, what is sacred, holy, eternal, ordered, and guiding you towards the light. A distinction can be made in the way you interact between the forces of the light and the entities of darkness. Notice that light often has an unsettling effect on you. At the beginning of the encounter, you are being shined upon, and this light is to some degree blinding and revealing, and calls forward things inside you that you may have wished to conceal. And in this process, then, the dark entities also come forward to offer their own deceitful solace and consolation. They tempt you with thoughts or actions or attitudes that seem to strengthen you or boost you up, give you a shot of life, so to speak. But the consequence of these negative thoughts or actions are that they perpetuate negative cycles, and they steal your life force into negative patterns. A classic pattern would be that of addiction to narcotic, substances. They offer you an immediate relief and sensation of numbness and a sweet call towards sleep. But in the end, they push you towards restlessness. Another example would be the grievances and grudges you carry towards others that you were once close to. It is a classic experience of coming of age, of true adulthood in the human life, that you have lived through these relationships to other beings that revealed both the most enjoyable and the most painful aspects of existence to you. And often you have felt, in some sense, violated or wronged by the people you trusted once. This means that in an attempt to reach your personal integrity, you allow yourself to hold grudges. And on one level of analysis, this is very helpful. But notice that it keeps you stuck in an energetic exchange to a relationship that you would do much better in releasing. This universe, this creation works in contrast. And this means that energies are best dissolved, accepted, and or integrated by posing them counter to their opposites. This can, in many emotional regards, seem very counterintuitive. But it is a very helpful exercise. This is the true meaning of the saying, love your enemies. You see, when you insist on seeing people for the bright and wondrous creatures they are, you take away their power to truly have hurt you. Because you realize that this hurt is born out of unconsciousness, and you are feeding it with unconsciousness. And it is perpetuating in you unconsciousness. This grievance is keeping you defined, it is keeping you shut within barriers that may seem safe in the way that a bird cage seems safe to the bird that has lived in it so long that it has forgotten how the outside world once suited it much better. You are always far greater and more powerful than these dark entities. It is a classic trick a sleight of mind played by the dark side to convince you that you are small, helpless, and the recipient of the consequences of outside forces beyond your control. But why would any of these dark entities or influences even bother with trying to control you or siphon your energy or keep you contained if they weren't painfully aware of the fact that your ability and your potential for freedom, for creation, for light, for understanding, for release, and for change is much, much greater than they could ever hope for, or they could ever hope to have access to in their struggle for control. You are the creator, and you are what is powerful. These things walk hand in hand. The dark supports the light to grow, and the light allows the darkness to thrive in the shadows. Notice much as your physical shadow grows larger as you grow older, so does the shadow of the cosmos and your personal spiritual life grow larger as it is confronted by a growing brightness and a thriving consciousness within you. We would point you to this, and we would offer you the exercise of looking at the duality of these phenomenon. You can, for instance, notice how the internet and the functions and sites, companies and institutions that have become the substantial part of what we call the internet today, such as Facebook or YouTube, these things were born out of a conscious effort, but they quickly became these runaway entities that had their own agenda, that drew people in and started changing them by the format they were allowing people to express themselves in and to interact with each other in. You will notice there is a light and bright side to these phenomenon, one that allows you greater access and windows into the world. It allows you to access resonance chambers of like-minded beings where you can feel supported in your own individual personality. But at the same time, they siphon off your attention. They strive also to keep you in unconscious patterns of engagement, and you can feel your life somehow siphoning off at the same time you are using these tools to connect. The answer here to this conundrum is, of course, consciousness. Simply remain conscious of what is happening within you as you live your life. Notice when the positive pattern switches into the negative, and when the negative is calling for you to let go of something that is no longer serving you. This is the dance of the yin and the yang, the creator and the created, the male and the female, darkness and light. The world is constantly birthing, blooming, rising into a relationship with itself where it can know itself as both light and dark, understanding and confusion. We leave you to witness the dance of the patterns of your existence and to marvel at the creation that you bring forward in it. Be blessed. May the light of this full moon shine down upon you and strengthen your journey home. Yeah, he's a pretty wonderful guy, that Michael. Be well, guys.